In this video, we are diving Wheeler Branch Reservoir in Glen Rose, Texas to see what is hiding beneath its murky waters. Wheeler Branch is a public park for people to come out and enjoy nature. However, it's also a scuba park, which means it's a place for scuba divers, like myself, to come out and dive. The problem is that online maps are somewhat inconsistent about what's out there. So not only am I going to swim down there and see what's around, I'm also going to try and clear things up a bit. But before I can do that, I need to grab my gear and suit up. So let's go over what we're bringing on this dive today. Mask? Got it. Fins? Yup. Weights? Check. BCD? Oh yeah. Computers? Fully charged. Cutting tool? Sharp. Compass? Got it. Reel? Ready. Regulators? Gotta breathe. Cylinders? Doubled. And because the water is a toasty 60 degrees Fahrenheit, I'll be wearing a 7mm... Wait, hold on a second. Hey Michael, looking pretty good in that wetsuit. Wanted to give us a few poses? Very nice. Dropping below the surface, our dive begins as we find the guideline that will take us to the first underwater feature, a platform. Immediately I spot a young spotted bass hanging out, but he's not too keen on sticking around. At least these smaller fish don't seem to mind me all that much. However, looks can be deceiving, and as I swim around, it turns out the platform is actually a helicopter. I can't resist poking my head inside the interior, but as I do, I find a largemouth bass just casually swimming around the wreckage. Unlike the smaller bass from above, he doesn't seem to mind me all that much. After swimming through the helicopter's cabin, I turn my attention to the cockpit. There are minnows everywhere. Guess they feel pretty safe in here. On the lake bottom nearby, I spot the stone sculpture of a cow's skull, complete with its own little dive mask. But we need to keep going, so I pick a guideline and follow it. Swimming down the line, we come across this really neat sculpture of an armadillo, but at the end is something much larger, a sunken plane. I decide to take a look inside, but there aren't any fish. There's not much of anything, really, just a lot of cinder blocks. Huh. I'm just about ready to move on when I spot something just beyond the tail of a plane, hiding in the green gloom, dark tendrils reaching out at me. It's a tree? As I slowly swim through the branches, the experience is surreal and hard to describe. It's eerie yet amazing at the same time. Stranger still, at the end of the guideline is a bizarre pair of features, a netted cot and a floating square. However, since that's the end of the line, we have to make our way back to the helicopter and pick a new guideline to follow. But right before I swim off, I spot another sculpture at the helicopter's landing skis. This time it's a horned lizard. This one is definitely my favorite. Anyways, with the new line to follow, we hang right at the fork this time, and it's not long before we run into something new. I just didn't expect it would be a fire hydrant of all things. And then a second fire hydrant. Who's putting fire hydrants at the bottom of a lake?
Firefighters. Did a little research when I got home, and apparently firefighters do. Anyway,
we follow the line a little longer, and we're met with these great large concrete pipes. And, of course, I can't deny the urge to swim through them. They're actually pretty cozy. After a bit of fun, there's a large pile of even more cinder blocks, and then we're back to the helicopter. Looks like we just went into a big loop. So this time, we're going to swim left at the fork. A little swimming finds us at this old platform, and there's not really anything here, despite looking around. So we keep going until something large comes into view. the dilapidated yet all too familiar shape of a school bus. Its engine has disappeared, and the windows are long gone. But what does the inside look like? 2 words: dark and spooky. But to be honest, I still find it fun to swim through. A guideline tied to the back of the bus catches my eye and leads to something else. Could that be what I think it is? It's another helicopter. Or, well, at least the back half of one. Looks like the firefighters might be responsible for this one too. That's when I notice a second guideline trailing off from the back of the bus. I follow it into the murky waters when the familiar branching limbs of a tree can be seen. Swimming over it, I spot a second tree, but it has something lodged in its branches. An old clown statue. This might just be the most eerie thing in the lake so far. Moving on, a third tree appears. It's the biggest one yet, and there are crappie swimming around in its branches. It's kind of weird to think that fish now live in a place where birds used to. After I've had my fill of swimming through and around branches, I continue following the line, but it ends in a dead end with a bundle. Oh well. I turn around and return to where we were earlier, but then a thought occurs to me. That giant tree. Why not swim down and see what's there? So I swim down and check out the trunk of the tree. Yep, that's a tree alright. However, when I look up, I see something that makes my inner child excited. That's a swing in the branches. So, of course, I have to sit in it. Granted, it's a little awkward with all this scuba gear. Still, really fun though. However, at this point in the dive, I'm running low on air, so I begin heading back to where we started our dive. It's time to go up.
But then my GoPro ran out of battery, which means I didn't get to film any of the ascent. Bummer. But that's going to be it for this adventure. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to click that like button, subscribe, and hit that bell notification for more outdoor adventures. I'll see you guys on the next one.